Alright, let's see how we're doing up on this stream. Pulling it up. Oh, it says I'm live. Oh, hey, look at that. Alright, so I'm just going to mute me. Hold up one sec. Alright. Am I a bit choppy here? Is that what's going on? The video kind of looks choppy. I hope that is not the case. Oh. Oh, that video looks smoother. Okay. So, let's tweet this out. The stream has begun. I'm only like a bit 15 minutes late. That's not too bad. The secret to this is that I don't have to go in and edit. I can just stream, which makes my life so much easier. Stop sending me messages. Alright, let's start this up. I have the chat open and one thing. Real talk, I don't really expect anyone to come here. This is almost just an excuse to say, hey, I did something for Valentine's Day and I don't have to edit a whole bunch of Katawa Shoujo videos. Let's just go into load here. Oh. Want. Alright. So, once that's finished, once we're all good. Okay. Hey, what's up everybody? Prime22 here, bringing you our celebratory Valentine's Day stream for Katawa Shoujo. And I do not see... This is my first stream, so bear with me, but let me refresh this. Boom. Okay. Alright. So, let's just get right into this. When we left off, we were heading over to Lily's classroom. So, we're going to start... Oh my god. We have no food at the house, and my mom keeps, like, messaging me. This is... I don't care. Okay. So, let's just get right into this. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. For all you singles out there, because you know if you're in a relationship, you're not here right now. So, alright. She perks her head up as if she breaks off talking to a... She perks her head up as she breaks off talking to a noticeably small... Ah, crap. To a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best she can. Sorry, who... Ah, sorry, Hisao. I have Hanako, too. Because you were deaf. Hi. She's pretty skittish, considering the number of people around. It isn't too hard to work out why. Yeah. Lily takes a moment's pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again. For the moment, just ask Moriya for his advice. Kenji's busy. Kenji? Kenji's busy with painting one of those for the banners already. Oh no, not Kenji. A quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That Kenji? I quickly... Please tell me it's Kenji. Are we gonna get a Kenji moment? I quickly turn about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in a corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him. What? Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students, with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. Okay. That's right. Class 3-2 was specially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be... That's a horrible idea. Let's take all the blind people and shove them into one classroom. Okie dokie then. Class 3-2 was specially for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty arduous for them. Need a hand? I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. Oh, just conscript Hanako into your army? A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She nods off in affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Okay, that's good. Alright. We haven't screwed up anything. Lily gives a noticeable sigh of relief. Ah, that's good. I might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him, but nobody else can help. Kenji? Sure. Oh no. God, Kenji. Let me bring up OBS over here. Okay. Kenji? Sure. She seems surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met? Our rooms are in the dorm right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast. Friend. I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Good question, good question. Let me lower my brightness here a bit. Okay, that looks weird with my ear flipping out. Too much everything. My hair is all messed up, but you know, whatever. It's whatevs, you know? Friend. I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings reminds me of the reason I put her up to helping in the first place. Yeah, that would be a lot of social anxiety for me to just be thrown into a class I don't know and have to help them, and that doesn't really work well for me. We'll go help him then. Wait, we'll both go to Kenji? Oh, God. Oh, no. We'll both go help him then. He knows what he needs doing, right? That's right. Just ask if you have any problems. Chorusing? Is that a word? Chorusing? Manly tea party, bro. Thanks, Twisted. I try to. This right now is the symbol of manliness, of masculinity. Hanako and I begin to trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Oh, there he is! Hey, Kenji! No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the large, half-painted kanji that's stretched on the sheet and pencil. Kenji? Oh, he has arisen. Huh? What? Who is it? If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. Oh, wow. It's me, Hisao. Oh, that went before I could even read it. It's me, Hisao, from the... Right. I know that, man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. Straight up annoys me. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. Nope. So we have our target and our bro here at the same time. Have I mentioned how much I love Kenji's parts? Because, wow. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me reminds me that she's here. Oh, wow. I was just going to help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is. Hello. Oh, hey, I guess that's okay. Even if she's a girl, Kenji, in the vast feminist conspiracy. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about-face. His sudden, faux hospitality is slightly unsettling. Alright, women. Alright, women. On second thoughts, this may have not been a great idea after all. Oh boy, now they're close. This is bad. Hanako and I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji, noting the several small paint tins on the ground around it. Class 3-2 noodle stall? You guys selling noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside, or something. He is now erect. Yeah, he was. Is it really that bad of a lag? Oh, whatevs. He's always erect. Yeah, some stalls outside, or something. Or something? His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So, how do you want us to split this? We do borders while you do the text, or do you want to switch and do the borders? The text is mine. You do the borders. Oh, wow. He has surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. Yeah. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako is already debating between colors to use. Oh, she did the eye thing. I missed that because I'm looking at the text. So whenever she does that like subtle animation, it's weird. I need to look at the camera more often, don't I? By the time I've put brush to cloth, she's already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone around her worked. Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. That's pretty good. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper conspiratorially though. Okay, man, why are you here? Hanako just wanted some help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover. Oh boy. I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here? Oh, is that how you're going with it? Okay. Obviously, it sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. We gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school, a harsh world. An unforgiving one, you might say. Yes, very harsh. Oh, wow. He misses my true meaning as he leans back, satisfied I'm sympathetic to his cause. I better get down to work. And then we have the nice shade transition. Finished. Oh, and she said it without stuttering. Looks like I am too. Good job. The two of us connect the lines of our patterns, mine being as close as a copy as I can manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left finishing off the sign as well, as Lily and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Pretty sure my inflection on that line was a bit wrong, but whatever. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Oh, I love this OST. Need a hand? Oh, just shot like a bullet. I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. Oh, we've passed the using the hand to get up stage, guys. We're going to... What is my life? As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. If her scars extend to there, just how much of her body was burned? I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Aw, man. Looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I mean the banner. Hey, those scars are pretty good. Okay. It does, I guess. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. Sweet. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lily as we cross the room. This room reminds me a lot of the room that was my anime club room. Yeah, I would stand up here and talk. Of course, I had a smart board back here, not a blackboard. And we didn't have the Code Geass map, but that would be nice. But we did have these exact type of chairs. But I'm pretty sure most schools have this type of chairs. We finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done. Lily gives an appreciative nod. Thank you, Hisao, Hanako. If there's any way I can thank you, it's fine. Beats sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. I'm a master at that voice. She nods before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh, is Kenji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room. Yeah, just finished. He carefully slides his sign onto an empty section of the shelf to dry, before quickly walking past us and out the door. See ya, man. Bye. And just as mysteriously as he came, he went. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. I'm going to actually move OBS down a bit over here. Okay, sounds pretty good. Leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time? Indeed, the class's plans this year were ambitious, maybe too ambitious. It's all Shizune's fault. The stalls look nice, though. Oh, look at that face. Isn't that just adorbs? Yeah, she's right, though. She's right. It shows a lot of work. A lot of work's gone into them. Is my stream frozen? It looks a bit like that. Let me refresh this. If I, missed anything, I apologize. Okay, it looks like it's refreshed. Yeah. I think we're good. Yeah. And of course, the chat resets itself, so... My, I'm sure a lot of us would be glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do into the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hisao? Yeah, I guess I'll tag along. Oh wow, it's night. The nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different. Compared to the usual look of lush greenery, things are much more calm. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and from the dorms, trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard is our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. When I first played this game, I played through Shizune's route, and that ended up with me being with Shizune and Misha a lot of times, and that was chaotic. But it's a lot more peaceful with Lily and Hanako. Even without noticing it, I let out a small yawn. Tired? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with Shizune took me kind of off guard, though. I grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways. Oh? Her voice seems slightly irritated as she remembers Shizune, obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. Oh wow. I glance at Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is, unsurprisingly, evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over, in any case. The change of topic's welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine. My old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. Wow, yeah, I can imagine. Yamaku stresses the idea of a school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals in such special occasions. And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. An unforgiving one, you might say. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. Oh, we made Hanako laugh. That's a first. I suppose coming from the strict all-girls school helped me a bit with Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. That go away towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. Oh, had a fade transition. That's how you know time passed. And the background changed, so okay. As we come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time for a... Yikes! As we come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. There we go. Nailed it. See you, Lily, Hanako. The two both give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys. And then they fade away. Speaking of fading away, has anyone watched the newest Ruby episode? As it is to be expected of such an arrangement, there's a staff member casually patrolling around outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. I walk past him. I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long, before walking to my room. It feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seems almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. Yeah, what day is it? Are we reaching the weekend anytime soon? Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my mind, I set my alarm clock to wake me up and early enough to go jogging again. Okay? I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. Oh yeah, we have to go running. Crap. Running. Okay, but that's not all bad. Oh, and then we fall unconscious. Oh. Katawa Shoujo. Okay. Nice little transition. You won't see that in the Lazy Koala's dating sim. Oh. That alarm clock. My morning alarm goes off and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? Yeah. If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least that's what I keep telling myself. We had the running sound. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the heck does she come down here anyway? Hey, Emmy, the token lolly. Oh, it's you! Had to give her the smoker voice. I'm surprised to see you again. Why is that? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowned, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, I was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. Okay. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yeah. So come on! God, now we do the running. I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I hear it, man. I can't get up the stairs of my college without being out of breath. Whoopsie daisy. I know I should be patient, work towards things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. Dun dun hakunaru. We round the track and start our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient, keeping pace with me, and begins to pull away. Oh, wow. Leave me in the dust, why don't you, Emmy? This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Oh. Let's save. Create new save state. Continue. Return. But let's take it easy. I let Emmy go with her own pace, and she doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instant. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not as if I'm really putting up any sort of real fight out here, is it? Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? There's no need to go pushing my limits at this stage of the game. Yeah, go easy, man. God, is this even worth it? As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Emmy keeps going, and it almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Well, that's stupid. I don't have anything to prove to her. Come to think of it, I've got nothing to prove to myself either. I'm just fine the way I am. And what I'm not is a runner. This was probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this. Getting up this early sucks anyway. There's got to be some other way to keep it healthy. Walking, maybe. Nice afternoon walks. Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me. Running isn't for me either. I wave to Emmy and head back to my room. I'll think of something else later. Yeah, give up on running. Let that heart condition determine your life. I'm probably a bad person. Back in my room, the first thing I see is the familiar row of medication bottles lined up on the top of my dresser, and it makes me depressed as usual. It's annoying. I thought it was okay. I thought I had made peace with this thing, gotten over it, but what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it is the only way to do so much. I've done this before. For months, it seems like it's time to get over it with it. I misread that line. If I allow myself to forget that my life's definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it's a life in progress. That's how I'll rationalize it. I'll down the useful handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary fearing out of my head. Then I prepare to head out to class early as usual. Oh, please have a Kenji moment. As I step into the hallway, I notice Kenji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way over to his own room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me soundlessly like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him. Hey. He jumps at the sound of my voice. Oh, hey man, I didn't notice you there. I'm really tired. I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping? Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher. Yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want. So then, what's in the bag? I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need supplies to continue the fight against the vast feminist conspiracy. Okay. I thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. I wear a hat now. Okay. This is stupid. I wear a hat now. I decide not to point out that he is not wearing a hat. Okay. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside his room, and then closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find out a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. Yeah, I never study. Oh? I just wanted to know when the next test day was. I'm still going to take it, duh. I need to know so I know what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. And why do you have to go out when you can just get it on your phone? I don't carry a phone. Yeah. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones. I have no phone. This is my phone, guys. See that? Let me pull up OBS. See that? This is my phone. This is why I don't carry a phone. This is the worst thing. So I'm with you, Kenji. I'm with you. Okay. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? I'm more in Kenji's boat on this, man. I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. Okay, Kenji, I can't really side with you on that. I'm gonna move here a bit. Is that too much? No, that's good. But basically, whenever I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. Oh. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it. Beaten in the head. Well, where else could I get beaten with a phone that would make me unable to remember it? The butt. Unexpectedly logical. I feel very depressed now. Sensing this conversation is more or less over, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is going to start in like 20 minutes. I already did something today. Too tired to go to school. You might want to back off there, man. Hey, you need some lip balm? I accidentally bought two because I thought the store had started selling individual AA batteries. Somebody help Kenji. Somebody help Kenji. Please, dear God. Thanks, but no thanks. Whatever, man. He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to class. Here we are. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come to the morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their faces by now, though the names escape me still. Nope, shade transition. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I've even started worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Mutol finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. Okay. So, as you know... what voice did I give Mutol? Matola is like a wild card with my voices. So, as you know, the festival... That sounds like a Batman voice. Oh. Did a cat just bust in? Milo? A couple seconds, guys. Milo, why'd you do this? What are you doing? Let me resituate myself. Maybe Milo wanted to take part in the festivities of Valentine's Day. Let's do this. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also, come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Misha. Everyone burst out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what I meant was... that was an automatic thing, too. I didn't click anything. The remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Mito deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. That's gonna be me as a teacher. Oh. That's creepy. It's very creepy. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Oh god, it's Emmy. Isao! Great. I'm going to make you a one-time only super extra special lunch offer. Emmy's homemade lunchboxes and the privilege of enjoying them in private with two bombshell beauties. I don't think a lolly counts as one, but... Her overly flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway. A remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emmy strikes a very confident-looking pose, as though an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing her very modest chest and making the V for victory sign out with her hand. What is this, an anime? Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited? You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company. That was probably the most depressing reason imaginable. Does he really look that sad? Why? So how about it? You're probably really lonely and would eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise. You need a smoke break. I'm kidding. Sure, I'll have your lunch offer, with pleasure. Let's go to the roof. The roof? Why the roof? Because that's where we eat lunch. And if I don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off, and then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs lunch for herself. Oh god, it's Rin, isn't it? It's Rin. Who will? Come with me! Without answering my questions or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Emmy smiles guiltily. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it. Huh. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with the missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Nope, here at the roof. I'm gonna go mad. The Japanese word for rooftop. I learned this yesterday. It's not yane. Yane is like a roof in general. I'm talking about the roof that you can go on. Rooftop. What is it? Okujo. Yeah, okujo. Now that we've got our Japanese lesson out of the way, let's get back. In fact, they're eating lunch. Let me get my lunch, seeing as we have no food in the house. Which means my lunch consists of freaking goldfish crackers. Sponsor. Actually, let's be a bit festive. Let's eat some of those, some of these, Be My Valentine snack cakes. Don't you just love being single? I, for one, pretty much do. It's been happier. Love you guys. This is stupid. Gordon Ramsay. Oh, okay. There's only so much Filthy Frank references I can make. Emmy shoves the door open and begins beaming into the sunlight. Oh, now that's clearly Rin. That's clearly Rin. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Dun dun dun. Eek! Hello. Yikes, you scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she... Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? God, I keep spitting, wow. I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? You said bombshells. Okay. Rin turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. This person... ... The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds till Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Hisao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. You'd think this is a visual novel or something where everyone knows the main character. Oh. I'm sorry for eating, but I'm hungry. Oh. Does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Okay, that's thinking ahead. Nice thinking. They walk over to the end of the roof, while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in the other schools. Like animes. Animes. Pluralizing that is a sin. A few run-down benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the roof look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. Checking where my mouse is on the screen. I don't really see it. Whoa! So, I peek through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises is it metropolises or metropoli? Seem so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like the life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. Yeah. I live in a very small town. Our university is nearby, but the town where my university is in is the smallest town I've ever seen. Actually, no, there's a town a way back, where somebody I know lives, and it's just like a street. Not even a long street, like you could run up and down that place. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at the new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Really, only 1 year? You're only going to be here for... I probably missed that, but that's sad, man. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came up so suddenly I haven't had time to think about how I feel about it. Yeah. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel a warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Yeah, it feels like we've been here forever. No, really, it's just been a couple parts. That's how you measure time. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces 1 big and 2 small lunchboxes from her bag. Come on, Hisao, what are you waiting for? She is beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I'm having a moment, Emmy. Gah! Oh god, that was like a... I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. How small is this bench? Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Nice. Wow, this looks pretty good. Wow, that looks pretty good. I should stop the iDubbbz references. That's bad. Thanks. I make them myself when I can. The conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Freaking skillful. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. Yeah, it's also a reminder of the sort of place I'm in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? Yeah, probably. Maybe. I can't decide if it's like what Yuko or whatever her face says. It's only a problem if you make it a problem. I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm not giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, a mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. Yeah, 'cause I ran, and like you, okay. My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great, because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you use it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choke on my lunch, trying not to laugh. Well, it's a figure of speech. She looks pissed. Does your figure have to run in the mornings, too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? Oh, wow. I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk considering on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Lin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Yeah, one has no arms and one has no feet. Like shoes in a suit. Is that the right idiom? Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we've got all our limbs. Get it? Ah, that's morbid almost. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. I can imagine. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Yeah. Really? Kind of? That shocked face. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better, and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what, I'm just going to stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. That's my contented noise, guys. Keep that on your soundbite files. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. Really? When we're at the end of the meal? I mean, I guess that I kind of do that, especially when, like, fast food stuff, I usually, like, eat the burger, eat the fries, drink the drink. All in that order. Taking a bite out of the left ventricle. The blood of my enemies. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one toed in that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with a pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow, I didn't think either Emmy or Rin are the sort of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Yeah, really. Rin especially so. Rin doesn't care. Rin doesn't give a crap. Rin's our other bro. Indeed. Indeed. She gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. What's going on? Skype. Nothing. You're late. It's fine. Oh, twisted. I'm sorry, honey. Boo boo. Only noticed that now, twisted. I apologize. Whether or not that's a contest doesn't matter. Okay, I'm honestly not sure. So, Hisao, how do you like it up here? It's quite... Oh, almost gave him smoker voice. It's quite nice, actually. I like the high places. For the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will keep eating lunch all alone. Dang, she looks sad as crap. If crap is sad. I am suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Your location and the company is okay, too. Emmy frowns about my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. Wow, how did I get that mixed up? I guess this makes us friends now. Friends with the lolly, or at least acquaintances. That was an energetic bell. Alright, let's get everything up. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs as if that's an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. Don't we normally eat lunch in Lily's room? I liked eating that lunch there. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Oh, please let there be Hanako. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday. On a Tuesday! All the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. Oh, God! Hey, Yuko. As I drop the books I borrowed into the return slots on the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging. Cause I ain't your holla back, girl. Okay. Okay. That's fun. Quite startled from the bang they made as I hit the trolley next to her. What was she doing? Sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine. It happens. A lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. Please, let there be a Hanako? As I do, I look over to the corner where Hanako had been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Os! Yatta! Okay, we got Hanako. This is working well, guys. Better be careful, I might end up getting a crush on Hanako myself. That would be weird. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like it's like the last time and get back to finding reading material. Yeah, okay. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With the minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out... Oh, I love this soundtrack. Check out my books and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, the sunset isn't too far away. By the way, I hate sunsets. Like, I hate it when the sky's all orange like that. Especially in the afternoon. It's getting about that time here. It just, like, hurts my eyes and gives me a headache. But, yeah. A small trickle of students remains, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. Oh, do they have, like, houses nearby? Are there commuters? That'd be pretty cool. I guess I need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. Yeah. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches and try to stave off the tiredness that's accumulated over the week. Oh, hey, Lily! After passing through and rounding the corner, though, I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards a small town below. The color of her hair and tapping of her cane are unmistakable. Hey, Lily, what's up? I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lily. She takes a moment to place the voice, slightly adjusting her head to face a bit more towards the source of my voice as she does. Hisao? Yep, that's me. There he is. She seems to have a good memory for voices. The fact that she actually remembered is a pleasant surprise. Good evening. What brings you here? Once again, she gives a small, polite bow, and once again I reply in kind before realizing that I needn't do so. She can't see. Just going into town. You? My, what a coincidence. Doing the same thing, eh? Oh, am I Canadian, eh? I usually go shopping on Fridays. She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost. That said, Hanako usually comes into town with me. Ah, not lost but worried. The two do seem to keep a pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lily like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She lets out a small sigh of relief. Thank you. She has a habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right. She doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit. Although she probably didn't intend it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Yeah. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quietly continue to walk down the quiet road. Tack, 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 tack. Oh, is that the she's in there version of ... There goes the last of the heart cakes. And all that's left of my love. Drinking away my sorrow. Okay. Milo, what are you doing? Yeah, I bet you regret that decision now, don't you? Milo. Milo. Milo, stop. He's doing his cat thing. He's trying to... I don't know how to describe it. What are you doing? But you feel stupid now, don't you? You can't be comfortable. He's trying to lay on a pillow that's like on an angle, which is weird. And he's like trying to burrow through my dirty laundry. Oh well. With a road bereft of cars, and the students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us, the quiet rustling of leaves and the measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. Before I know it, I've relaxed so much that a loud yawn escapes before I can control it. Tired? Yeah, I've been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement to be sure. Transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Well, hopefully everything should settle down for you. The festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plopped right in the middle of things. For a moment I hesitate, but given her apparent tolerance for frankness, I decide to give my full thoughts. Okay, cool. I guess. Yamaku's kind of different, though. I mean, the formalities surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset, I suppose. I'll get used to it, though, in time. I kind of turn that all into one running-on sentence. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. It feels almost as if she's included me in the flock of students she's shepherding, along with Class 3-2 and Hanako. Yeah, I'd say so. Well, not that I mind. It's nice to get the thoughts off my chest in any case. And it gets us closer to Hanako. Looking on the bright side, one could see it as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make new friends. That's optimistic. Nonetheless, it's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess I'll take a good... Oh, I guess that's a good take on it. Oh, shade transition. Walking on down the road, she seems to be somewhat unsettled. Before I can ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speaks up about something else. So where in town were you going? That's actually a pretty good question. I'd come in to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I had intended to just wander around and see what I could find, but the sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. I'm going to have to ask her for directions. Again. I was just going to get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way. Well now, this is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself. Looks like I'll be in your care again then. Thanks. Together we walk to the store. My pace is carefully slow to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking pace, hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason. That's freaking 7-Eleven. Wow. Aura Mart. Aura Mart. That looks like 7-Eleven. Let me Google this to see if this is a thing. Aura Mart. Aura Mart. Nope, that's just a Katawa Shoujo thing. It's definitely not 7-Eleven. I can tell you that much. Totally not 7-Eleven. Let me get me some goldfish. Some goldfish crackers. You know, there's a homophone for cracker. Spelled. What's the word when it's something spelled the same but doesn't mean the same? Cracker means something else, I can tell you. White people. After what couldn't be more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective. This town is really pretty small. Oh wow. Kona. Oh. Alcohol corner. Okay. Osake corner. Without further ado, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter. Irashaimase! Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here, it takes a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she'd had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. My pleasure, bada bing, bada boom, you know? I grabbed 2 well-used red baskets from the small stack beside the entrance, handing one to Lily. Oh. She lays on the ground, putting her school bag in and retracting her cane, sliding it through the bag. Okay. She lays on the ground, putting her school bag in, retracting her cane and sliding it through the basket's handles before picking it back up in her right hand. It looks weird when she doesn't use her cane. Wait, if she doesn't use her cane... Oh, before I can complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform with her slender fingers. No, Lily. Hanako's gonna be our waifu. You can't do this. Is this alright? Sure. I have no reason not to accept it. I can think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it's out of necessity. We navigate our way through the store, with not one of the occasional passing customers seeming to bat an eyelid. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for this local residents. Yeah. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily and find out what she needs. I grab it along with what I'm looking for, and put our items into their respective baskets. I guess this is the same routine she and Hanako follow every Friday. Friday! I'm so sorry. Alright. All that's left is the bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go, then. With a quick side trip to the bakery section, we make our way to the registers. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we both paid for our food and are out the door. Is it night? As Lily retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a minute looking upwards at the night sky while holding... Oh, those are stars! Oh, that's an animation! Hey! Hey, little star! Let me brighten up my brightness. Yep, that's definitely space. while holding both our bags. For a moment, I tried to make clouds with my breath, but the summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate, really. Eventually, she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my two. You tired as well? The festival preparations have been complete chaos. She's in there breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either. Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right? I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, if that's for sure certain. I guess the festival's preparations must be taking their toll on both of them. When is the festival? Is that this weekend? Is that like tomorrow? We walk out into the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? Is it... Wait, he's alive! Shy surprise! He knows that I killed him in the Meme Master Simulator. I notice a very distinctive figure making its way towards us, silhouetted by street lamps. Oh, God. Who? For a second, I think it's another male student from my class. But as he, or should I say she, gets closer, I recognize her quickly. Oh, is it Rin? Oh, it's Rin. Rin, what are you doing out here so late? Rin? Lily perks her head, looking like she's trying to focus on listening more keenly. It suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. It's Rin, Tezuka, I think that was her last name, from our school. She stiffens at the name and gives a complicated-looking expression, something like a forced fusion of a composed smile and a painful cringe. Ah, I understand. I guess Lily knows Rin too. Rin turns to look at us, looking terribly out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she recognizes either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge if she does. She looks like a zombie, or a statue of a zombie. Oh well. But slowly, some symptoms of understanding seem to light in her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once, very thoroughly. Okay. Hello. Dot dot dot. There is an awkward pause. Everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing out here this late? Dot dot dot. I was wondering about that myself too, just now. Okay. Some people asked that just before. I assumed they were wondering the same. I didn't know. They didn't know either. I asked, that's why I'm wondering. So that was pretty much it. It's a murder mystery without a murder. Dot dot dot. They were going that way. She turns, facing her in the right to demonstrate the direction the other people went, as if that was important, then rotates back like a mechanical puppet in one of those overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an impression of being the quiet type, Rin surely does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lily, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue. Our stupefied lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, a calm hint of expression on her blank face. She is like in the Twilight Zone. This is why she's our bro. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed. As if a bull elephant grade sedatives were flowing in her veins in the place of blood. Oh wow. I wish I was that chill. Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of the sort, though. No, I don't think that's that. The other passerbys are probably just worried, though. You do look really lost, the way you're standing in the middle of the street. Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some other kind of pose in that case. I ponder for a while. I should chase this angle further, or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decide on the latter. Yeah. She's becoming the same headache as Kenji. But a different headache from Misha. It seems that most of the time it's better not to read too deeply into what Rin is babbling about. Talking with Rin is like playing chess with a supercomputer who does seemingly completely random moves as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that, except with human interaction. Okay. Can't say I knew people like that. And even if I win, it feels like losing. Yeah. Dang, it's just like Kenji said, even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamaku? Is this the vast feminist conspiracy? ... I push the thought aside, it's too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda getting to me and during a moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe taking another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here? She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question, its consequences, or the answer she's about to give. I do have some idea. I can't really tell what kind of idea. That sounds like progress, at least. Lily sounds as if she spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. I can't say I share her optimism. Yeah. Yes, there is some, definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons. That pace! The ensuing silence kills Lily's hope all too visibly. That didn't last long. Then, as far as I can tell, unbased, assurances aside, what should be done? We could just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are, but it's late, and I don't think we'll be getting any thanks if Rin is found standing here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she was doing here in the first place. As for me trying to guess what might have been going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure, the chances seem to be on par with winning the lottery. Yeah, several times in a row. Milo. Lily is oddly quiet too. I appreciate some support from the sidelines here, especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. It seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she's staying subdued. So, I assume you were going somewhere, not coming back to the school. Any idea where? Her eyes widen in shock as she jolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this. Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique. I don't think that's a disability. No, what? Why would you think that? You knew what I was doing. That face! That face! Wow. Then you are a piece of work. Give me my goldfish. That's all I know. Yeah, it was just an educated guess. We walked the same street in the other direction just before to get to the store. If you were going to the school, we would have met you on the way. Oh. She looks a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Rin is quick to jump to completely irrational conclusions. Maybe it's something in the water here. I make mental note to stock up on soft drinks. You know, that's the second time this week that someone asked if I was a mind reader. Do I really give off that impression? Rin shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answer I get. You know, maybe you should come with us back to the school. Lily's saving us. Lily interjects as I'm about to further debunk my alleged mind-reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, the paper-thin smile on her face badly disguising that fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion as I did. For everyone's sake, I decided to let the mind-reading topic drop, as it's entirely inane anyway. Yeah. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point in staying here. Rin considers this rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods. Okay. We start... Wow, that's a creepy moon. But not like Ruby, where the moon is half shattered. We start towards the school again, having wasted way more time than necessary with this episode. Yeah. Rin walks along the edge of the sidewalk in her rhythmic way, looking like a mix of sleepwalker and a rope dancer, while Lily keeps one hand on my shoulder, tapping the ground with her cane. Tap, step, step, tap, tap, step, step, step. Is that what dubstep is? Apart from that, and a few fragmented beginnings of conversation, it's quiet. Quite apart from relaxing one to town, that is. So how's the mural going? We are going to get bad luck. Never talk about works in progress. I'm sure it will be wonderful. Bad luck. Tap, step, tap, step. She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, step, step. I'm a rapper. The hill Yamaku rests on top of is surprisingly steep going uphill. We slow the pace, but I still feel my pulse rising and the breath getting heavier. Yeah, almost there. I can see the gates already. More than that, though, I notice Lily's hand slightly tightens on my shoulder, interpreting it as a gesture that she wants to ask something. I speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? I resist the urge to say, aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For a moment, she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway. Is everything alright? Oh, alright. How do you mean? The fact I can't interpret her incredibly vague question puts her off for a second. It's just, you seem unusually tired, I guess. Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill walk has done a job on me. Lily noticed it all too quickly. I really don't want to talk about it. Sorry, I'm not in very good condition. Let's save for the time being. I really don't want to... Sorry, I'm not in very good condition. It's alright, I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days. Oh. Is it something that is related to you being transferred here? I mean... She cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing that she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp, though, and while I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lily, I don't think I mind. I'm just a little weak for the time being. Hanako said you looked fairly healthy, so I naturally thought, oh, Hanako's talking about me. Lily doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. As she furrows her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. It's surprising she's this flustered, considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness. She must know that not all share in her own comfort about such things. No, it's okay. I have a pretty... I guess the best way to put it would be a messed up heart. Arrhythmia. I had a bad heart attack a while ago because of it, and spent most of the spring in a hospital. Ended in Yamaku on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lily furrow her brow even further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given we don't really know each other that well. It's all cool, Lily. Chill, man. I can't really fault her for it, given that I have the exact same reaction. To my surprise, in a moment's time, her face shows that she comes to some sort of realization. Wait, so the time when Emmy and you collided in the hallway? Oh, God. I grimace slightly. Her ability to connect the dots quite so fast is unexpected. Really, yeah, that was fast. Yeah, I guess I'm a textbook example of why those rules about running in the corridors exist. That was a lot more dry than I intended. Lily visibly shies away from continuing the topic. While I do want to assuage her concern, I really don't want to dwell on this either. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, but then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly, but doesn't say anything further. And Rin just kind of doesn't care. Arriving at the dorms, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet for almost all the walk back when I had all but forgotten she was there. Here. It's Friday, isn't it? Yes, Friday, the 8th of June. Oh, we have a timestamp, 8th of June. It's okay, Milo. This is bad. Oh. Bad? Why? I think I'm going to go into a fetal position and throw up, possibly in reverse order. Is something wrong? No, nothing's wrong. It's Friday and nothing is wrong yet. This mural is going to need to be finished by Sunday, so everything's alright. You have any drugs? Or a time machine? This is not good, not good. So she's behind her schedule. Recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago, I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for a told you so, unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at her mural, looking as mortified as she can. Leave me. I'm going to need to work for a while. I glance at Lily, expecting her to share an incredulous look at me as I roll my eyes, and then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Leave me. And then she fades away. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. There's a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rinsha has a knack of making people feel worried about her. Yeah, she seems like a person who should never be left alone. Maybe we should call someone? She sounded like she was going into shock or something. I'm sure she'll be just fine. She's just, how to say, lazy, crazy, fool. Lily cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling Rin crazy without calling her crazy. Unique? Yes, a very unique person. I guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion melodiously. Never heard that before. Nodding in agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talk to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight, apologetic smile, as if she was sorry that her own shortcomings had prevented her from becoming closer to Rin. Ugh. I'm not one to blame her at all. Lily lets slip a long breath, possibly disguised as a yawn. I imagine she's as exhausted by all this as I am. I'd better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Hisao. She smiles very sweetly at me, and it feels different than normal. Despite the fact that she's been smiling so often. I can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. Well, oh, Hisao, you're going doki doki. Ugh. Relaxed, I'd say, but that's probably just relief over getting rid of Rin, maybe. Yeah, good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. I will. Good night. Alright. But we're still going for Hanako. No? Katawa Shoujo. Pandora Hatsu. No. The students roll into the... Really? There's a Saturday class? The students roll into class... Well, yeah, I guess so. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Yeah, okay. Mutol lurches into class in a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrawls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out on it. That was a lot. Oh, it just keeps going. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work, not wanting to break the trend. I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling of papers. I don't think I've ever had a class that was like that. That can partly be attributed to the two empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she's making up for Shizune's lack of voice. No, I'm pretty sure she was born. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Muto approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. No? Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Yo! Mithol stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what is going on, I wait silently. So tell me, how are things? Things? I expected Mithol to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. You've had a week to settle in now. How are things? Fine, I guess. I see. And how is your condition? The pause before condition seemed a little unnecessary. I haven't had any problems so far. A brief shimmer of relief passes across Mithol's face. Good, that's good. The school nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't. That makes sense. The doctor is always watching us. I'd ask that you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you would get at a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure that you know where those limits are, and how to maximize your potential within them. Do you follow me? I guess. I mean, I don't plan on doing anything stupid. Well, that's a start, I guess. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Mutol taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Yeah. Well, yeah, you've got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. He's a bit weird too. It's obvious that Mutol's serious talk is over, and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think, in hindsight, that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief of that suggestion is insurmountable. Yeah, sure, you're the boss, right? Mutol pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. Tears starts coming down. For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back into the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Mutol doesn't even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got to him there. So is he a science teacher? What do you teach, Mutol? The class returns to the near silence that Mutol and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. Nice. Okay. The clock on the wall slowly takes the remaining class time away until finally the bell cries out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems on Monday. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off. but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink, as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend, with the festival and all tomorrow. Hanako! Hey, what's up? Yo, man! You wanna... I don't know. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. Yeah, that seems a bit bad, but it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite her relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of a novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just as I was about to finish a paragraph. The sound of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Well, this is getting awkward. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hey, Lily. Hanako. Oh, God. Phew! Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back to the classroom, taking her seat once again. What? Why didn't she go with her? I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though, her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate, yeah. Why would Lily leave her to her own devices? It seems to be quite out of the ordinary, going by Hanako's reaction. ... Oh, that's right. I think Lily mentioned something about going into town today before it didn't bump into us. The thought of that walk makes me look outside. Oh, look at those clouds. It's not a visual novel until you add clouds. The bright sun and occasional people wandering around and enjoying the afternoon make me yearn to get out of school, or at least do something other than sit here. Giving in to one of my worst vices, procrastination, I decide that history is a subject best studied on a Sunday, or a Monday, or any day other than this one. I give a grunt as I lever myself out of my seat, briefly debating with myself whether or not to hang out with Kenji. Don't hang out with Kenji, dear God! Do something with Hanako, man. She's right there. He doesn't strike me as the enjoying the nice weather outside with others kind of person, really. I guess I'll catch up with him later. What about Hanako? Hanako's in the freaking room. Changing tacks, I briefly entertained the idea of talking with Hanako, but by the time I look at her seat, it's vacant. She must have left for the library. Aw, man. There's gotta be something I can do that can kill time. Go to the library. We got a freaking Hanako, man. Save state. Return. Go to the library. The library seems as good a place as any to go. Hanako looked as if she was taken pretty off guard by Lily leaving, so she might want someone to talk to. Slinging my bag over my shoulder, I make my way out of the classroom. I walk down the hallway to the library, past a multitude of closed doors. Through each one is a sound of furious rehearsal can be heard. Rock music blares out of one door, almost as loud as a concert. I guess that's one of the advantages of a private school. There are actually enough rooms to go around at a time like this. And when I think about it, the grounds and buildings of the school are kept in pretty good condition. That can't be too cheap. I've heard that this place has some pretty serious benefactors. The walls of the library only partially insulate the noise of the festival preparations, but they're the only sounds to be heard. Not a soul stirs here, with everyone apparently enjoying the weather outside or working on festival events. What about Hanako? Yuko isn't here either. Maybe she doesn't work on Saturdays. I quietly walk through the library, now familiar with its layout. I head to the back where Hanako's private little corner is. I run my hand along the spines of the books on the way through, feeling the individual texture of each as I glance across the titles. I used to do this all the time in the library at my hospital. Some things never change, I guess. I used to work at my library for a little bit. I think a lot of my time recently has been spent in the library. Nice. I like the smell of a library. No matter how much care you take, the paper in the books is always going to degrade with time. Probably no matter which library you go into, anywhere in the world, it must have that same musty smell. Yep. I find something that looks light enough to read without any major thought involved, then look for Hanako in the reading area. Hey, look, there she is. Once again, she is sitting on the beanbag, with her back to a bookshelf, reading the same book she had in the classroom. She's slowly making her way through the pages. Oh, she looks at us. Unlike the last time I saw her here, I quietly take a seat in a beanbag. The noise is enough to catch her attention, but not startle her. This delicate routine that must be followed each and every time I try to talk to her almost feels like a hunting game. Gotta hunt the Hanako. Is that the same book as before? Yes, I'm almost finished. Cool. GG. I wonder if I should... Do you mind if I borrow it when you're finished? My mouth is faster than my mind, it seems. Sure, you may not like it, but... I'm sure it can't be that bad. After all, you stuck with it, haven't you? I guess. Why did I pick the character that I really don't like to do her voice? Hello, I'm Hanako. Okay. I settle into my beanbag and set about reading my own book that had been buried in my bag. It's a light novel about pirates. To be honest, I'm barely skimming over the words, having chosen the book merely because it belongs to a different genre than I usually read. Arrgh! It's a novel adaptation of Assassin's Creed 4. Finding it hard to muster enough enthusiasm to finish the book, and noting that I've inadvertently distracted Hanako quite a bit, I decided to try and make conversation. So, I see Lily left without you? She nods before taking her eyes off her book. She must have been really into it after all. Wow. Lily said she had to go and meet someone. Oh? Akira, her sister. Ah, Akira. Okay. Sister? I haven't heard her talk about her family. She and Akira used to live together. I thought all the students lived in the dorms. We don't have to. Yeah, you mentioned homes before. And that made me bring up commuters. Isao, you're contradicting yourself. But it's easier, right? I mean, there's food here and you're close to school. I don't think I've ever been to class on time so often in my life. But if it's like any other college, you have to pay for residential, right? Her badly hidden smile proves quite rewarding. Aw. In the back of my mind, I know I have a bit of homework to catch up on, but it's quite comfortable in here. No one can find me and force me into working for their pet project either. Unlike if you go down Shizune's route where you're conscripted for everything. Though, now that I'm thinking about the festival, another question comes up. Hey Hanako, what are you doing for the festival? Ah! What's with that face? For a split second I think Hanako was going to throw her book in the air from shock. Sorry? I was just asking what you're doing for the festival tomorrow. Anything planned? I don't know. Hanako and oh, okay, I think I know. Hanako answers the way people do when they don't want you to ask any more questions. I take it large crowds and loud music aren't really her thing. Oh, okay. Change the subject. So what's Lily's sister like? She's nice. She's pretty like Lily, but she dresses businesslike. Businesslike? She's always wearing a suit. I see, and that makes her less pretty somehow? Hanako gives an embarrassed shake of her head. No, just different. I'll admit it, this has got me intrigued. To hear Hanako talk about someone other than Lily is a first. To be complimentary about it too. She talked about you to Lily, though, Hisao. But as I try to picture this mystery sister, all I can think of is Lily in a suit, and I can't imagine that not being attractive, not at all. Oh, really? Well, one day you'll have to introduce me to her. Okay. Our brief conversation ends abruptly as it started, and we both return to our novels. Tick, 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 tick. The passage of time is marked only by the gradual movement of the patch of light cast through the window. To the window! Slowly the noises from the various rehearsals in the building fade out and die as students start to get hungry and tired. Just thinking about that makes my stomach start to turn knots around itself. I think it's time to head back. Do you think Lily would be back by now? I think I might head back to my dorm. I'm pretty tired from this week. And not a word of that is a lie. Moving to a new school is, as if it ramps up for a major event, has been taxing, to say the least. I can feel myself nodding off as I read my book. Okay. I might stay here a little longer. Looking at Hanako's book, I can see she's only a few pages away from completing it. For a moment, I consider hanging around until she finishes, but once again my stomach turns, emitting a gurgling sound. Sure thing. Well, I'm going to head off before it gets dark. I'll see you around, okay? Okay. See you, Hisao. Later. Hisao? Oh? Thank you for hanging out with me. Oh, that's too adorable. God. Okay, so that's what we're doing? Okay. I can see how hard it was for her to get that simple sentence out of her mouth. It leaves me hanging for a moment. So, there is someone in this school who is even lonelier than me. Maybe lonely is the wrong word, but I haven't been lacking company for this first week, but I've still managed to feel somewhat alone and detached. Maybe lonely is the wrong word for Hanako too. She has Lily after all, doesn't she? Yeah, that's right. I realize I've been standing there far too long without answering, and pull off a flawless but not too exaggerated smile. You're welcome. Good night, Hanako. Night. I leave her to finish her book and head back to the dorms, and the promise of food. Yeah, the food. The food's really the main thing. Alright. Oh, Katawa Shoujo. And then we wake up. The next day I wake up feeling a bit Feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late's fine. Sleeping late is fine since it's Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. I wonder if they have like a like any sort of like chapel over at Yamaku, or a mosque or a synagogue or some sort of religious thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Give myself some more of them goldfish. Which should definitely be a sponsor. If you're hearing this Pepperidge Farm, remember this. Okay, from my window I can already see some people at the soba booth, slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There'll be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. Okay. Without urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Genji's up to today out of impulse. Oh no. I'm curious if he has any plans, since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture them having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with a no girls allowed sign. Yeah, that's Kenji. And with girls crossed out and body crudely scrawled underneath it. Yeah, really. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, I hear again the unsettling clicking of at least 10 logs being pulled back. The door opens up to a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Dang, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing. I was just going to ask what you were going to do today. Half the school's out there already. Out where? Why? What? What? It's today's special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? What? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the heck are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times to thwart the snipers. Okay. It's the festival. You know that, right? And you're about to hear my wonderful censor skills. Oh crap, that's today? Dang it. I can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is going to be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is going to be a bad day. Oh, why? Oh man, they're going to be everywhere. The people, outside my window, socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. Oh wow. And he was going to build a fort. It's going to be loud as heck. Dang. And I was going to go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. Oh god. This is awful. This sucks. This sucks. What the heck? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. Yeah, I'd say. I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Dang, and I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself. And now it's here, and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to do anything today? The weather's even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not, though. So there's no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Really? If it's windy one day, does that mean it's going to be cold the next day? I never really paid attention. Over here, in this region of North Carolina, it can be... the weather is completely random. Like, there's one class I have to walk a long way to, and one day it was raining so hard that once I got to the building, I was, like, soaking wet. The next time I had that class, it was burning hot, and, like, I was, like, dying. And then the day after that, it was cold, and it had started snowing a bit before. It's crazy here. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. No, I can't do it. They'll eat me out. They'll eat me alive out there. I know it. This has to be a joke, but he said it with such a straight face. Relatively straight. What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We still might make it if we work together. I don't know. I'm pretty hungry, so I thought I'd get some food first and then check out the attractions. Your class project seemed pretty cool, and I gave a hand with it, so I want to see at least that one. And chat with Lily, I guess. Speaking of that, don't you have any obligation for the project? Are you out of your mind? That blind broad is up to no good. I can feel it in my spleen, man. Her presence is like a dark shadow that is in the way of my great vision. You can feel it in your spleen? As expected of blind people. What? Besides, I thought that you are also... He holds up his hand to interrupt me. Only legally. Metaphorically, I can see farther than any man before me has seen. Genji looks stoically to the metaphorical distance, to emphasize his statement, thrusting his chin forward to look manlier. Actually, it's just the corridor wall 2 meters away, but it's all the same. I can see the future of mankind, and it's a dark one unless the threat of women is stifled. They are everywhere. I'd say about half the population. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster like he's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course. I'm going to have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so that I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Goes to the festival. After buying a plastic plate of takoyaki from the stall belonging to the class next to ours, I take a seat in the school gardens and watch people pass as I attentively nibble away at the rather bland-tasting item. I guess I shouldn't complain. It's better than nothing and didn't cost much. Yeah, like me, then all I have is goldfish. As I look towards the school, watching the people coming and going proves surprisingly entertaining way of passing the time as I eat. Remember when goldfish was like weirdly colored? Anyway, little children accompanied by parents or grandparents scamper about in the den from event to event, one hand dragging their company and the other bearing an oversized, colorful snack. I can't help but notice the age range among the people here is skewed towards the elderly, something that I've also noticed when I was walking around the town. This must be one of those towns where only the people left are those that have lived here their whole lives and ardently refuse to leave, and those wanting to live out the rest of their days in one of the more increasingly few tranquil places. Oh, I guess that also goes a way to explaining how conservative Yamaku's school culture seems to be. Huh. Not that I mind one bit. I kind of like how Yamaku and its surroundings are. We got this beautiful pan. The heat, though, is another matter entirely. Sitting on one place for so long has focused my mind of how annoyingly humid it's getting, and now that it's the hottest part of the day is here. I better get moving. Gah! That was his words, not mine. The sound of the carillon bells takes me completely by surprise as I stand up, a reaction shared by a few of the people strolling around as well. The PA system crackles to life after the tolling bells end. Its age shows as the principal makes a barely intelligible announcement over it, officially opening the festival that's very much in full swing. It's quite amusing to contrast the pleasant smiles of the older folk against the alternatively pained and bored grimaces of their younger charges. The students, on the other hand, seem to pay it little heed. Nevertheless, as the address finally ends, all are united in polite, if not overtly enthusiastic, applause, and then get back to business. Slipping a hand into my pocket and to look as relaxed as possible, I casually glance around for something to do. It's somewhat difficult to see very far with all the people around. I decide to fall back on a tired and trusted rule. Go where everyone else seems to be gathering. Right now, that's the school courtyard and surroundings. Throwing the used plate into a trash can, I make my way towards the school building. Seeing the number of stalls around the perimeter of the school building surprises me. Quite a few of the classes must have opted to have multiple stalls. Okay. In deciding which to visit first, I catch sight of a familiar banner with a blue patterned border and red text. Hey! Lily's stall is a good place to start as any. I'm curious as to how it's going, after all the work she and her class have been doing for it. Oh. Okay. Coca-Cola. Stepping up to it, I begin to see why the class took so long to organize everything. Yeah, that's a lot. But where's the noodle stand? Easily twice as wide as many of the other stalls, with the equipment for cooking strewn everywhere, it's closer to an outdoor restaurant than a festival event. As a student in front of me takes a bowl of noodles and leaves, I walk up to the counter. The girl behind it seems quite exasperated and asks me to wait a moment before she disappears underneath the counter. Seizing the moment, I take a quick glance around. Steam seems to be rising from everywhere. As pots and pans simmer away, the most blind of the students are unpacking ingredients while being helped by someone who is probably the teacher of 3-2. It doesn't take long to notice Lily among them, talking with the teacher as she quickly counts up the boxes and packets with her fingers. From her expression and the fact that both she and the teacher seem to be in a state of mild confusion, it appears that there is some problem in coordination. You have a bunch of blind people running something, there's gonna be problems. Before I can stare any longer, the girl behind the counter pops up again, only to look back and ask where the spare change box is. Lily pauses for a moment before she and the girl switch places at the counter, and the teacher quickly walks off somewhere. Sorry about that. We're having a few problems. What would you like? It takes me a second to remember what I'd come here for. My eyes quickly dart to the side and read the menu sitting on the counter. I guess some miso soup? Is that Hisao? Yep. Looks like you're pretty busy. Her face all but confirms it as she drops her waitress facade. Or facade. Somewhere along the line, our order got mixed up. We're trying to fix it now, but it looks like we only have half of what we needed. Wouldn't serving smaller portions cover over the problem? It seems like that's what we'll have to do, though. I wish we didn't. The fact that a good half of our class is gone doesn't help either. I glance behind her to see how many people are actually operating the stall, and Kenji isn't there. It couldn't be over about 8. Oh, wow, really, that's not much. I take it that's why your teacher left? That's right, she's going to try to round up a few more of our classmates to help. Hearing the sound of footsteps behind me, I stealthily glance backwards to see an elderly couple taking place in the line. I guess I'd better stop loitering around and chatting. Here's the money for the soup. Soup! Oh, right, coming right up. Lily turns and calls for a bowl of miso soup as I hand over the money for it. Taking the coins in her palms, I can't help but notice how efficiently she counts them out with her long, pale fingers. Eventually satisfied that I've handed over the correct change, she puts it into a small metal tray. How can you tell? That would be hard to tell if you're blind. It isn't long before the soup is made and carefully handed to her, after which she turns and subsequently passes it to me. Thanks, I'll come back to drop off the bowl. Thank you, Hisao. Oh, there's one other thing. Have you seen Hanako? Hanako? No, not today. Why? She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment. Oh, got a message. Skype. 3.5 hours to the weekly communion of koalas. I like that. She gives a small sigh of abject disappointment. It's okay. I was just wondering what she was doing for the festival. You'll come back when you're done, then? Sure, I'll keep an eye out for Hanako, too. Thank you, Hisao. I walk up from the stall and find a seat, carefully cradling the steaming wooden bowl in both hands. You know, someone's going to spill something at that stall. You can't have a bunch of blind people running it and not expect any accidents to happen. Compared to the dumplings from before, this is quite nice. A little cool compared to what probably should be, perhaps, but the flavor is enough to cover that reasonably well. As I drink, I can't help but feel somewhat guilty for not being as involved in the festival as others. It can't really be helped, considering I was dropped into the school only a week ago. Sorry. But it still weighs heavily on my mind. That and the fact that a few students don't really seem to be enjoying the festival as much as the visitors. Eventually, I finish my bowl and leave for the stall to drop it off. Considering that there seems to be no line at all, I take my time walking up. That was pretty quick. It seems the teacher's mission paid off. There are now over a dozen students helping, and much of the unpacking has been done. I'm still guessing Kenji's not there. Despite most of them seeming quite relaxed as they work, Lily still appears to be somewhat stressed. Lily doesn't look impressed at all, and I can't really blame her. On top of her issues with her stall, she seems to be worried about Hanako. I can't really help her with the former, so I guess the only way I can help is by trying to take her mind off our shy mutual friend. Placing the bowl back on the counter, I call out to Lily. Hey Lily, don't worry about Hanako. I'll go find her and hang out with her, okay? I can see Lily's relief plainly written across her face. Thanks, Hisao. And if you see anyone from my class, can you tell them to come back here, please? Will do. Have a good one, and make sure you take a break, okay? I will if I can. See you later, Hisao. I'm not going to be able to get Kenji out there. Let's find ourselves a Hanako. I leave Lily in the stall and head out in search of Hanako. In a way, I feel bad for leaving her with the crowds, but even though she was clearly under pressure, I can't help but think that she is enjoying herself. The halls are packed with swaying crowds and meandering through the festival. If there's one thing I know about Hanako, is that she's not going to be anywhere near this. And with the students showing their friends and family their dorms, I doubt she'll be there either. Following blind intuition, I move against the grain of the crowd. Thankfully, this crowd seems to be slightly less festive than your usual festival crowd. I assume this is out of consideration for the student body. Yeah. As I force my way through the masses, it doesn't take long for them to thin down into nothingness. Nice. Little fade, creepy picture. It's all good. This is not surprising since I'm standing before the library. Oh, here we are. Even the most eager of students don't bother to show anyone this section of the school. As I enter the library, the noise of the festival fades into a dull background noise, and soon I am in the reading area at the rear of the room. Behind one of the partitioned desks, I see the top of a head with a straight dark hair catching my eye. Oh? Hey, Hanako, I had a feeling I'd find you here. You freaking spooked her, man. Oh, Hanako, with a face of utter terror. The head jumps in a little in shock before slowly peeping over the partition. Hisao! Hey, Lily's pretty busy, so she sent me to find you. Oh, do you want to sit down? Actually, I'm feeling a little hungry. Would you like to go get something to eat from one of the stands? I brought some food, so... I shouldn't be surprised, but it was worth a try. Expecting her to go outside today was a long shot. She's like barricaded. She's in that library like Hitler was in the Führer bunker during the Battle of Berlin. Did I just compare Hanako to Hitler? How about we eat in the tea room? Yeah, I passed it by on the way here and no one was around. We can make some food there, and it'll be a little more comfortable. What do you say? Sure, let's go. Hanako closes her book and puts it away with deliberate, practiced movements. Good to go? Yeah. We walk side by side from the library to the tea room. As expected, there is barely a soul around. If it weren't for the murmurs through the walls, you wouldn't tell that there was a huge festival going on outside. Hanako carries her bag in both hands and focuses on just the floor ahead of her. Every now and again, she seems to break her pace a little and steps in slightly shorter paces. The first time it happened, I gave it no mind, but I soon noticed that she does it on a regular basis. Are you alright? She stops dead in her tracks. What? I don't know, it looked like you were tripping or something. A pink blush rises into her cheeks as her gaze returns to the floor. It's nothing. You know, when you say nothing like that, people are inspired to ask further questions. For a second, I don't think she's going to answer. Prepared to leave it be, I almost set off walking again when... It's a game. Oh, Hanako. Game? Do you see the floor here? What a bizarre question. The floor looks just like any other floor, covered in those tiles made up from squares of linoleum. Nothing noteworthy. Well, yes, what about it? Sometimes, when there's no one around, I only step on the darker ones. Hanako's voice trails off as her explanation continues until I can barely hear her voice over the roaring silence of the empty hall. Darker ones? Shuffling her feet, Hanako points the toe of her shoe at a tile that's barely a shade darker than the others. Like these ones. Alright, so those ones are no good? I point out at a nearby tile. Yeah, something like that. Oh, I see. Do you play this game a lot? Hanako shakes her head. Just when the halls are empty? She nods. Her face. Well then, no. You know, there was a time where I called you Harvey Dent, Hanako. Like, all the early episodes were nothing but the Dark Knight jokes. Check those out. Well then, no point in stopping. I'm beginning to get really hungry. She nods again, this time with a little more enthusiasm. Well then, let's go. We set off down the hall. This time I noticed that Hanako is paying a little less attention to the floor. I wonder, just how lonely does someone have to be to come up with a game like that? I come up with games like that. Okay. But before I realize what I'm doing, I find myself trying to aim each step so it lands on the correct tiles. Yep. Hanako's getting to you, Hisao. The noise of the festival is slightly louder inside the tea room, but the breeze coming through the open window makes it worth it. Without thinking, I walk to the windowsill and inhale deeply. I sometimes forget how clean the air is here compared to back home. Tea? Would you like some tea? That wouldn't really work in Japanese, because both of those sentences would start off with whatever pronoun she's using for us, anata or whatever. So, like, yeah, there's no... I'm interested to see how that works in the Japanese version. Huh. That would be great, thanks. It occurs to me that this is the first time I've been alone with Hanako without her trying to be somewhere else. Yeah, that's great, man. Turning from the window, I watch as she makes a simple pot of tea and arranges some sandwiches onto a plate. I've seen her do this before a number of times, but this time she seems slightly different. It's like she's calm. Oh, you're getting to Hanako, Hisao. Eventually, she places the small tray on the table and pours 2 cups of tea. The fresh scent of brewed tea mingles with the breeze, and for a second I feel like I'm the only one in the world. I think I know why you like this room now. I don't know what you mean. Well, there are quite a few people out there, but in here it's like another world. You can pretend that there is no one around for miles. You're right. It's like the world has forgotten this room. And because of that, you can forget about the outside. That would be appealing in some cases. As far as I can tell, conventional bullying doesn't exist in this school. Yeah. But then again, I haven't seen a single person talk to Hanako besides Lily. Shizune is kind of a bully sometimes. If you're ignored by the world, a place where you can forget its existence would hold a special appeal. Yeah, I know that feel, Hanako. There were days in high school where I could get through the entire day without saying one word. I need friends. That's a good point. It's like this room gives you some kind of complete freedom. Yeah. Say, do you play chess? Oh, I love me some chess. Chess? Chess is like my favorite game. Chess? I believe I've played it a bit, I guess. I take it you've played before? A little. Without saying anything more, Hanako moves to one of the cupboards and digs out a small chess set. Do you want? Sure, why not? I cut her off, but she doesn't seem to mind it. Oh. We arrange the pieces, but before long, we are sending pawns charging to their inevitable fates. Okay. I take my time and intently examine each move and its consequences. Nostalgia for the game taking second place to the matters at hand. For a time, the game is a lengthy battle of attrition, but I spot an opening and tear a line in her defense. A few moves later, her king is cornered by several of my pieces. Checkmate. You're not bad at this, are you? An honest appraisal. Her technique is pretty good, but several times I was able to exploit her lack of prediction. I pick up a piece and examine it. It looks relatively new, yet worn for its age. I guess not. Does Lily play? The absence of Hanako's answer causes me to think about my question. A bit. She can't see, Hisao. God. This is the first time I played against someone other than her, or? She cuts herself off abruptly, leaving the answer hanging in the air. Someone she knew before coming to Yamaku, maybe. Well then, I'm honored to have played against you. Can we play again? She asks as if she asks as if she were asking me to cut off my own hands. The spirit of competition's gotten into her. Oh, don't become Shizune, Hanako. Sure, though don't expect me to go easy on you this time. Not that I was before, mind. She seems to appreciate the competitive tone. Same here. Oh, as we are setting up the pieces, there's a noise at the door. Hey, Lily. Good afternoon. Lily. Oh, hey there, Lily. Are you finished? You both are here? Wonderful. At any rate, our teacher managed to round up some extra help, so I was able to leave. Have you been in here since you left? Pretty much. We've just been playing a bit of chess. Oh, would you like a cup of tea? Actually, I think it may be a good idea to go outside for a little while. Hanako immediately is like, what'd you just say? The instant drop in Hanako's face suggests her objection to this plan, even though she says nothing. I feel strangely compelled to voice what is plainly in view on her face, but Lily can't see. I kind of think that we should just stay here. Really? It's so crowded here that I was thinking we should leave the school and head for the local tea house. You mean the Shanghai? Of course. With everyone at the festival, it should be practically empty. Tea house? Oh, that's right. You probably don't know of it. There is a tea house not far from here, which we go to every so often. Sounds like a plan. Hanako, what do you think? Oh, God! She was like... Hanako's expressions are the best. Hanako jumps at being forced into the conversation, but at least she seems less distraught than before. If it's the Shanghai, I think it'll be nice. Well then, it's settled. Let's be on our way. Hanako and I rise from the table in our preempted chess game. Before I can do anything, Hanako has poured the pieces into a small container and placed the board away. Looks like we're ready now. Please lead on. Hanako moves to Lily's side, and we venture onto the school corridors. The pair leads me through a series of unfamiliar doors, and we emerge on the side of the building opposite of the festival grounds. Insulated by the heavy stone of the building, the noise from the crowd has faded into a murmur. Strange. I thought that most people would be beginning to leave by now. They're probably here to view the fireworks. Fireworks? Yes, apparently the school puts on quite a show. A lot of people come from town just to watch them. Lily's decision to leave the school grounds seems to make sense now. Hanako would probably have a hard time with the whole town descending onto the school, or ascending, as the case may be. Yeah. For the second time since arriving at Yamaku, I find myself walking down this road with Lily. Only now that I can barely hear the incessant noise of the festival do I realize how loud it was, and I can hear my ears ringing slightly in the still evening air as I recover from the day's assault on them. Hanako clings to Lily but still manages to guide her along the road. That, and avoiding the occasional gaze from curious pedestrians, appears to completely sap her constitution. She rarely raises her focus from the ground in front of her, nor does she utter a word. Lily, on the other hand, maintains her prim and proper persona just as she does in school. It's obvious she purposely puts effort into her appearance rather than hiding it as Hanako does. It's striking how different they are in their way of holding themselves outside of Yamaku's grounds. That said, it's obvious in both their cases that they do visibly change. Oh, wow, okay. Inside Yamaku, everyone is special, which negates specialness of it. But once we venture outside the school gates, we are returned to the status of outsider and generic labels. Especially when we are still in school uniform, it's like hanging a sign around your neck, challenging people to figure out what is wrong with you. I'm surprised that so many of the students keep it on. Then again, with canes and wheelchairs common amongst the students, I guess it's not really that much of a giveaway. Or maybe I'm the only one that sees this as a stigma. Maybe you get used to it after a time, like any other school uniform. That was a weird, black out the entire screen, but okay. The tea house seems fairly standard from the outside, just an ordinary building with typical signs decorating the entrance. It looks like the type of place you'd walk by without a thought, another generic cafe in the sea of thousands. If Hanako hadn't steered Lily into the entrance, I would have continued down on the road without ever knowing that it existed. Oh, looks pretty nice. Inside the tea house, it takes on a more traditional feel. Everything seems to have been made from the same lump of timber, from the counter and the benches to the high-backed booths around the walls. But the most striking feature of the room is the lack of life. I think I can faintly hear something bubbling away in the background, but otherwise the room is silent. Without any directions, we simply wait near the entrance, politely obeying the "please wait to be seated" sign. Or is this place closed or something? Oh! Okay. Oh no, it's Yuko. The sound of a chair falling over echoes throughout the empty room, and a head shoots up from inside the booth. I wasn't asleep, and welcome to the Shanghai! Yuko, dressed in a pastel apron and clutching a menu, rushes to greet us. Her misaligned glasses and ruffled hair cast suspicion on her previous statement. But whether she was asleep or not isn't the first question that leaps into my mind. You work here now? What happened to the library? What? Lily? Hisao? Welcome to the Shanghai. Yuko, still waking up, jerks into a violent bow, dislodging her glasses in the process. My glasses! Oh god. Why is everyone so weird in this game? As I pick her spectacles off the floor, Lily offers an explanation. Yuko works here as part-time, as well as at the library. It's one of the reasons we like to come here. Yuko takes her glasses from her hands, shakily putting them back on. Yes, that's right. Thanks. Shall I show you to your table? There's no one else here, so you can choose your table and order whatever you like, but there may be a delay as I will have to make it myself. It's alright, Yuko. Just a pot of black tea with a plate of sandwiches will be fine. Right, I'll get right onto that. Yuko hurries off to the back of the cafe, leaving us standing at the entrance. She pushes the swinging half doors open before realizing that she hasn't seated us. I'm sorry, please sit wherever you'd like, I'll be right back. Following her advice, I lead Lily to the nearest booth as Hanako follows. Well, nice sitting animation. As I begin to sit next to Lily, I realize how appropriate this place is for Hanako. The high-backed booths totally separate you from the rest of the room, and it doesn't look like it gets that many customers. All of the furnishings, from the cushions on the benches to the condiment holders, look dated but aren't overly worn. I wonder if Lily deliberately selects places like this to take Hanako. She seems like the type of person that would go to lengths to cater to Hanako's unique predicament. So, Hisao, I didn't know you played chess. Well, not very well, but I do know how to play. I suppose the obvious question would be, who won? Lily's innocent smile makes me hesitate. I don't really want to look like I'm lording my victory over Hanako. Hisao did. Yes, but not by much. Dang, saying that out loud makes me feel like I've done something terrible. I've beaten her. Well done, Hisao. You've accomplished something I've only ever failed at. Thanks. I haven't played in ages, so it felt good to play again. Yes, it did. Hanako fidgets with her hair a little and looks away as she replies, but a small smile emerges. Doll. It's a little more extreme of a reaction than I expected, but it's still kind of cute in that Hanako way. It throws me a little off guard, and only Yuko's cataclysmic re-entry shocks me back into the conversation. This picture. Look at Hanako's face. Are you alright, Yuko? Do you need a hand? I'm fine. I have to do this properly. It's my job. Concentration plays across her face while she stares at the tray in her hands, as if simply looking at its contents will hold them in place. Sadly, this doesn't prove that effective, and the cups and saucers slowly dance around and occasionally clattering as they collide with one another. Taking great care, Yuko sits the tray down on the table with only the subtlest of crashes. There, see? Well done. Thank you, Yuko. Yuko's head rockets downwards in her distinctive bow before answering. You're very welcome. Would you like to join us? There's something else I would like to discuss about that recent order, if I may. That's right. Lily and Yuko were discussing a pile of books when I first met Hanako. Something about Lily helping with the Braille. Ah, yes. We didn't get the chance to go through them, did we? Yuko hastily sits down next to Hanako. Apparently, her dedication to this job only goes as far as the concentration. Once it's broken, she suddenly loses it. I'll be in the library tomorrow afternoon if you'd like to try again. That sounds perfect. I'll meet you there after classes. Lily? Oh dear, that's right. Tomorrow is Monday. How could I have forgotten? I'm starting to feel a little left out of the loop here. Then again, that's to be expected. I have been here for barely a week, so it's impossible to know everyone's schedule. Well, perhaps we could come to some other arrangement. Yuko, will you be in the library later in the week? Maybe, but this is already overdue. And there are some things I need. This might be a problem. Lily ponders for a second before discovering the answer. I wonder, might we be able to enlist the help of another if need be? What you guys want me to do? To do what? You lost me quite some time ago. Being a volunteer for something without even having the slightest idea of what is going on isn't really my thing. And here I thought I had finally escaped the clutches of the student council and their repeated attempts to recruit me. Yeah, really. Oh, of course, the other day I was helping Yuko sort the new Braille books in the library. But Hanako and I usually go shopping on Monday afternoons. It's quieter on that day than on weekends. Oh, do we get to go shopping with Hanako? Hanako? Last week we couldn't go because I was busy with the festival. I managed to slip away later in the week, but Hanako couldn't make it. Well, since I can't read Braille, I'm assuming you'd like me to go shopping with Hanako? Correct. You were a great help to me the other day. I think I can handle that. Hanako, what do you think? If you wouldn't mind. Of course not. I'm still familiar with all the stores in the area, so it sounds like a good idea. Okay. Getting to spend more time with the target waifu. I hate it. Now that we have arranged, shall we have some tea? It's now that I realize that our tea has been sitting idly by all this time, getting no hotter. It's my fault. Let me pour that for you. Yuko reaches out with shaking hands, but I intercept her. She looks in no state to be handling hot liquids. It's alright, I've got it. Since you've already made the tea and sandwiches, you fulfilled your waitress duties, right? I guess. Yuko relaxes a little, but still watches eagerly as I share out the assortment. Oh, the fireworks. I was like, is it ISIS? Is ISIS? As I'm about to bite into the sandwich, a low, loud rumble can be heard, along with a flash of light from outside. Hanako is freaking scared. Ah, I take it the show has started. Oh, look at that. Only now, looking outside, I realize the dusk has come and gone, leaving us in the peak of twilight. Sparkling tracers arc upwards, ready to explode in the floral shapes of fireworks. Let's go watch. Oh, sorry, Lily. Dang! Oh, sorry, Lily. Please don't miss the show on my account. From what I've heard, this isn't a bad location to watch them from. Oh, it's a CG! And there's Hanako! With the exception of Lily, we rush to the window of the small tea house to watch the show. The strobe of color lights plays across Hanako and Yuko's smiling faces. For a second, I forget to look out the window. Oh. In this totally new world, there are few things that don't change. I think that's why school makes such a fuss over this festival. It's a chance to show the similarities between everyone. The show is over all too quickly. Fireworks are expensive, even for the most well-funded schools. Well-funded? That track will look like crap. Before we return to our tea and sandwiches, Hanako turns to me. Thanks for today. Oh. I'm gonna save here, just in case. We haven't saved in a while. Thanks for today. And tomorrow. That's okay. I don't think that I could have faced those crowds either. Oh, on days like this, it's more relaxing to spend some time away from everyone, don't you think? Yeah. Anyway, we've been delaying this tea for far too long now. Let's get back. Sure. We return to the booth and our light meal. That sounded impressive, bigger than last year's at least. Yeah, it was great. I've never seen them put on such a show. It gets better every year. I'm afraid, however, that during that time, the tea has gone cold. Oh no, let me make some more. This is my fault. Calm down, Yuko. It's nobody's fault. I'll take a sip from my cup just to prove the point. The tea isn't too bad. Too bad cool, anyway. It's like an iced tea. Really? Yes, really. If you add a bit more sugar, it's kind of nice. Are you sure? I'm positive. Now why don't you just sit down and we'll finish this together. Okay. Yuko doesn't seem to be convinced, but sits down regardless. She carefully measures out about 5 teaspoons of sugar and adds them to her tea. I said a bit of sugar. I know, but I like my tea sweet anyway. I curiously peer into her cup. As expected, hardly any of the sugar dissolves in the cold liquid. Yikes. She stirs it twice before upturning the cup and drinking its contents, sugar and all, in a single mouthful. You're right, it's not that bad after all. Good. I look back at Lily and Hanako, both of whom have finished their meals as I witnessed Yuko's personality in action. Not wanting to hold anyone up, I use her tactic and finish the remainder of my tea in a single swill. Well then, it seems we're all finished. Should we head back now, or do we want seconds? Yuko's expression shows that this is quite clearly not a good idea. I think that it would be best if we got back soon. We do have to get back before curfew, after all. Oh, this school has a curfew? Oh, that's a good point. I'll meet you tomorrow, Yuko. I'll be looking forward to it, Lily. Goodbye, everyone. We make our way out of the small tea house and into the dark of the night. Lily and Hanako once again take point, but under the cover of darkness, Hanako seems slightly less stressed than she did on the trip here. We move against the occasional group of people emptying the school grounds, but Hanako seems to be leading us along a few minor roads, avoiding the bulk of the crowd. Outside the dorms, the school seems strangely quiet when compared to the noise of the day. Well then, thank you both for today. I think I learned a lot. You're most welcome, but I'm afraid that I really must be going. Today's been a long day. That's right. Lily spent all today on her feet, and I can imagine that walking outside of the school would be pretty tiring for her. I feel a pang of guilt as I remember that I was probably the only one in the school that got up around 10 this morning. Sure thing. Well, I'll see you both tomorrow. Good night. Good night, Hisao. Night. The girls return to their dorms, and I to mine. Actually, now that I consider it, today's tired me out as well. Oh? Oh. Animation. Oh. Act 2. Hide and seek. Oh god. Well, I think that puts us on Hanako's route, guys. Like, we're officially into this. I think I'll end the stream here, guys. For all of you who came, thank you so much. And, there's going to be a sort of lull in videos for me for the time being, because I'm trying to work on Transformers Lore Episode 3. But when we come back to Katawa Shoujo on youtube.com/PrimusPrime22, we're going to be going down the Hanako route. See you guys next time. Let's just save.